What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlemania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Smackdown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including The Rock vs. Roman Reigns is on, the WWE Universe is furious, things get worse for Vince McMahon, an AEW star charged with aggravated assault, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia Shorts. As always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the, downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, Bayley's Batista moment. Sometimes it's good to revisit the classics, as seen by the WWE recreating the famous moment when Batista had to choose between challenging JBL at Wrestlemania or opting to challenge his faction mate Triple H. The parallels were fun to watch as Bayley, like Batista, overheard that she was being set up. Of course, there were differences in that Triple H made Batista think JBL had tried to run him over with his limousine, and here Damage Control was mocking Bayley behind her back. However, in both cases, Batista and Bayley went into the announcement knowing that they'd been played, and both wrestlers turned the tables. Here, Bayley delivered a poignant promo about how she'd done so much in Damage Control, only for Io Sky to turn her back on her when her friends Asuka and Kairi Sane joined the group. Damage Control thought they had Bayley at their mercy, but the role model didn't go into the ring alone. She had a lead pipe secreted near the ring steps, and she evened the odds with it, taking out Asuka and Sane before Sky exited the ring. This was a great segment for Bayley and a great setup for her challenging Sky at WrestleMania. Number 2, B-Fab joins Lashley and the Profits. Now, it was good to see the WWE finally even the odds between Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits against the Final Testament, adding B-Fab to the mix. The WWE teased some sort of involvement between B-Fab and Lashley's faction, only to seemingly drop the angle. And now things are even and fans have even more reason to get invested in this feud. Number 3, a fine follow-up to the Royal Rumble. The Smackdown was a fine follow-up to last Saturday's PLE, with the WWE revealing Bayley's pick for a WrestleMania opponent, Logan Paul dismissing Kevin Owens' request for a rematch from their Rumble match, and the WWE putting on some good matches to hopefully entice any new viewers tuning in. Smackdown also featured the introduction of new faces to the Blue brand, including Tiffany Stratton, as well as B-Fab joining Bobby Lashley. Finally, fans got to see Elektra Lopez rally the troops in Legado del Fantasma, adding a new dimension to the faction since her recent return. And a good fatal 4-way. And while there weren't many matches on the show, the WWE made sure that everyone was good. One match stood out, the fatal 4-way involving Pretty Deadly, the LWO, Legado del Fantasma, and British Strong Style. It's a situation we've discussed before, the abundance of good teams on the Blue brand. The downside is that the WWE only has one tag title for 2 brands. That needs to change so fans can get more matches like this and have teams vying for something substantial rather than a future consideration. As good as Triple H's booking can be, more on that later, he still has to find a way to utilize the many talents he's assembled on Raw and SmackDown. But that was good. What about the bad? As number 1, does SmackDown really need Tiffany Stratton? Now don't get us wrong, we're totally, no pun intended, on Team Totally Tiff. Stratton has emerged as one of WWE's best female stars on NXT, and it's great to see her hit the main roster. However, SmackDown isn't the place for her, as the Blue brand already has abundance of main event players, even with the already returning Naomi. Unless the WWE plans to shoot Stratton straight into the main event, which could backfire as fans resent her pushover on SmackDown's neglected women's undercard, she would do much better on Raw. Number 2 are Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, Logan's flunkies. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Grayson Waller has gone from a shooting star to a supporting player in Kevin Owens vs Logan Paul's feud. As for Austin Theory, he's barely a blip on the SmackDown radar. What looked like an interesting tag team with Grayson Waller now has Theory serving as a punching bag for Kevin Owens until KO can get his hands on Logan. But that was the good and the bad. Yep, you guessed it. SmackDown had a downright ugly. Just what in the hell was WWE thinking? Now, the Rock vs Roman Reigns dream match is already off to a terrible start. Last night's segment between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns was confusing, as fans couldn't tell if Rhodes was handing his Royal Rumble win to The Rock or just bringing him in to face The Rock. There was also the pathetic promo from Roman where he boasted of defending the title a handful of times and appeared to mock Seth Rollins for wrestling with various injuries, which seems counterproductive as Reigns basically admitted that Seth is outworking Roman despite being hurt. Now, I don't know what Triple H was smoking, but just in one segment, he made the Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank absolutely pointless. Why have those events when The Rock can just swoop in and come in and take a title shot? It just made no sense whatsoever. We don't even know what's worse about that segment. Either Cody just handing over his title match to The Rock, or Roman just defecating on Rollins and his belt. I mean, WWE doing all this just seems to scream that Reigns will retain at WrestleMania just so that he can go another year with the belt, eventually beating the record for the most days as WWE Champion. Is it really worth it? The one I feel for the most is Cody Rhodes. I mean, poor Cody, man. Dude has won 2 Royal Rumbles and still he cannot finish his damn story. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at Rock vs Reigns officially on. On top of today's news is that it looks like The Rock vs Roman Reigns is happening at WrestleMania 40. And while the match actually hasn't been confirmed, the WWE is holding a press conference this Thursday in Las Vegas, and it's expected that the match will be announced there. In addition, The Rock spoke with the fans attending Smackdown after the show ended, saying, well, it's become very clear and evident to The Rock that when you want to create something iconic and when you want to create something magical, you come to the Magic City. This is a city deep in history, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm happy to tell you that tonight, we made history here in Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham, I thank you and I love you if you smell what The Rock is cooking. A recent report suggests that the WWE was still uncertain whether this match would happen until just a few days ago. According to Meltzer, Dwayne pushed super hard for it. The card changed when Punk and Brock were out and all the dominoes fell. Dwayne already wanted it and they felt they now needed it as well. Felt this was better to change the news flow away from Vince. Did The Rock, who is now a member of TKO Holdings board of directors, feel that this was what the company needed? If so, it suggests how seriously The Rock is taking his new role at TKO. According to Meltzer, The Rock changed his own plans for facing Roman. Cody was the plan. Dwayne was going to face him later, maybe next year's Mania, maybe Saudi. Shit happens with Vince and Punk. The Vince things ends up worse than they thought and they changed the plan. I literally didn't know until yesterday that it could change, and then I was told it was under lock. 100% it was Punk versus Seth and Cody versus Reigns until Punk got hurt. What do you guys think of this incredible turn of events? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, the WWE Universe furious with the change of plans. While fans are still processing the events that took place at SmackDown's grand finale, it appears that the WWE Universe is anything but happy with the apparent change of plans. First, there's a mystery over whether Cody Rhodes handed his Royal Rumble win to The Rock, thus allowing him to challenge Roman at WrestleMania. Second, there's the WWE Universe's reaction to things. They uploaded the video of The Rock's confrontation with Roman, and reaction was incredibly negative, with dislikes ranging from 50 to 74%. As we're recording this video, the dislikes are at 219,000 and counting, with only 62,000 likes. Next up, things get worse for Vince McMahon. There's more news concerning Vince McMahon, and it appears that things are looking potentially worse for him. A new report from Vice alleges that Vince McMahon may have tried to pull a fast one on the WWE in terms of NDAs he entered into with several women. Further complicating the issue and potentially increasing McMahon's legal exposure is that, according to a person familiar with the situation, McMahon had secretly had the NDAs drafted and entered into them without WWE's knowledge, which is why when the company became aware of his hush money payments, it had to issue revised earnings statements. There were other problems too. Carrie Goldberg, an attorney who represented some of Harvey Weinstein's victims, provided an analysis. Goldberg noted that other issues with the NDA, among them that the copy Grant filed in federal court in Connecticut wasn't actually signed by McMahon in either his personal capacity or role as then chair of WWE. Normally, all parties would receive an executed copy of the contract. According to a source familiar with the matter, though, the contract was in fact executed with McMahon secretly signing on both his behalf and that of WWE after seeking counsel from his longtime attorney, Jerry McDevitt, a seeming conflict of interest Goldberg called bizarre. Keep in mind that the facts have not been determined in a court of law, but so far, things seem to be getting worse for McMahon. Next up, an AEW star charged with aggravated assault. That's bad news for AEW star Cash Wheeler, as the state of Florida is officially charging him with aggravated assault over the alleged incident that occurred last July between him and a motorist. Ringside News noted the arrest stemmed from a serious charge of aggravated assault involving a firearm, an incident that transpired back on July 28th. The alleged victim claimed Cash Wheeler brandished a firearm and threatened him. A warrant for Wheeler's arrest was issued the following day. Now, he's been out on bail ever since he appeared in court on 3rd August to plead not guilty. And finally, a SmackDown star's bizarre new name. And last but not least, apparently Vince McMahon isn't the only one in creative who likes to change wrestlers' names. Wrestling News recently pointed out that SmackDown superstar Humberto is now known as Berto. And this is by no means the first change to Berto, as he's gone from Humberto Carrillo and Humberto. Likewise with his tag partner Angel Garza, who's also been simply called Angel. What do you guys think of the name change? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.